I'm Emmy.
And I'm Vince.
And welcome to the first ever episode of Snack Time! Today's topic is video games. So Vince, what are you snacking on for today's episode?
Well, for today's episode, I chose to snack on Big Chewy Nerds.
Oh, can you tell us what those were like? They sound absolutely weird.
They're pretty much jelly beans covered up with crushed up nerds.
Oh. That sounds pretty...
No, it was not. I mean, it was not what... It was like you expect it to be good, you're excited about it, and then you try and you're like, oh...
It's like kind of like...
Disappointment. A big bag of disappointment.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, so what are you snacking on?
Well, I was snacking on one of my favorite, like all-time favorite comfort food, favorite sweet treats, oatmeal cream pies.
Oh, yeah.
I hate oatmeal cookies, but I think it's just like the frosting.
Yeah, I think it is. Like sometimes it's like you put that magical frosting between the two cookies there and it just makes it work. It's
so good.
Yeah, so.
All right, well, enough about snacks. Let's get into today's topic.
So, I want to start out with today's topic and talking about, like, my experience with video games. And, of course, it's a lot different than your experience with video games.
I sure hope it is.
Well, yeah. Well, it was exciting times, growing up. In the late 80s, we had started out with a Commodore 64 kind of computer system. And so it was pretty much like a home computer, and then you could play games on it, too.
Yeah.
And, it was real primitive. It was graphics. I mean, the thing you have to keep in mind, even back then, there wasn't, like, a magazine or a website or any place you could go to get, like, cheat codes that I knew of. There might have been cheat codes for this game or that game, but...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think... There's, like, certain games that I could definitely not get by without, like, at least... Like, even with simple games that you don't really need a cheat for... Like Animal Crossing, like sometimes I still look up information about it, like Stardew Valley, like yeah.
Yeah, there's like the walkthrough guides and just kind of hints on it. Yeah, no. And so I don't even know there's this one game that I just never figured out. So you wouldn't play it. So
wow.
And then I had a sister and a cousins that then ended up getting what was the Nintendo 2600 game system, and that was pretty cool. A little bit better graphics. There's this one, and I can't remember the name of the games, but it was like this starship that you'd go through, and you would shoot like through this maze of shooting cannons at you and all that. It was so
like
cool.
Space Invaders.
It wasn't Space Invaders.
Oh,
it was like more like it's like that scene in Star Wars where I don't know if you know Star Wars, where it's to get to the Death Star.
Oh,
and you're,
yeah,
shooting.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like that. So it's just like a long continuous thing of that. And then, it was crazy because not only did we have like the, Ataris and stuff like that, and playing like simple still, like Pitfall, like this is basically a running game where you had to like shoot this vine and like swing up past these pits.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, but the graphics were like real basic. I'm sure.
But like to you, it was like the big thing. Like,
oh yeah.
It was like for you, those graphics were like Ultra HD 4K or whatever the coolest graphics are right now.
I think it was more of just like, because they had arcades, so they have these arcades you could go, and yes, they had like pinball machines, which were amazing, but they also had, the video games there that you'd pay to play. So be able to bring that into your home and play at home these games, like that was pretty darn cool.
Oh, and definitely.
Yeah, so that was like the big cool factor was, it wasn't necessarily the updated graphics or anything. It was just that, being able to do that. Be able to bring the games to home and be able to play at home with your family and friends. And that's what was cool about it. Mainly with your friends or, your cousins or whatever.
Yeah. So what kind of games are you playing right now, dude?
Oh, well, right now I'm getting into, I don't have a whole lot of time for games, and I've kind of even like gotten some phone games, like my like Angry Birds and some of the stuff like that.
Oh, I remember like the early ages of Angry Birds.
Candy Crush.
Yeah,
but well, I used to. And then, and then there's this Snapchat game called Awful Bear. We call it, my girlfriend and I call it Awful Bear Shuffle. It's like Bear Shuffle game.
Oh yeah, I know that one. yeah.
And getting to the goal of throwing letters. Like we never were able to do that. So I don't know if there was. So anyways, So yeah.
Besides phone games, what are you playing? Let's go over that.
Well, we went to like with the COVIDs and all that. Let's stop. Our magazine that
I've heard about those.
yeah, and then they would have like books, where they would have like the cheat codes, not necessarily cheat codes, but just the ways to kind of get extra lives or kind of secret passages and trying to find all these ins and outs of the video game.
Yeah.
And the last time I remember having it was the Zelda #2, the second one.
Oh yeah.
Link's Adventure, and trying to beat that game, man. My brother and I spent hours on that game and we never beat it. So.
Wow.
Yeah, so
do you think you could beat it today, like with the help of all the guys?
I think so. I could, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot to play that game. So it was definitely an adventure, like it says.
Yeah.
But what was the one thing that was amazing about that NEA system was this thing called a Game Genie. Now this was a thing you put on the end of the cartridge. And you had a whole book of codes, and there was the code like with Contra with the up, down, left, right, A, B, start. That was like a Contra thing.
Yeah.
And we actually did that. And it was kind of cool because I think it gave you extra lives or something so it added a little extra to the game. But this Game Genie was like amazing because you put it on the end of your card, put it in, and then you enter a code, and it would give you extra lives, invincibility.
Wow.
You'd have like a certain type of weapon through the whole game. So.
Dang. Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it was pretty darn cool. Like
wow.
it was amazing. And I wonder, like I think like would they ever do that something like that for like the Switch or something like that.
Yeah.
So and then from that we even got this thing called a Sega Genesis.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah. And I think maybe it's like they come out with the mini console now that has all the Sega Genesis gaming. Again, just better graphics, different kind of gameplay. We would play a lot of X-Men, like they had an X-Men game on there.
Really?
Yeah, and that was more like high school time around there. So we would just play video games like all the time, it seemed like.
Wow.
Yeah, and then of course, as then later on, didn't get into computer games and so we go from this, and then in college, like Minesweep was the big thing because then computers were more prevalent there, and so people would go.
I don't think I've never met anyone who actually knows how to play Minesweeper. Like I don't think anyone actually knows how to play it.
I don't know. Like there'd be some people that I don't know if it was luck. I don't know what was going on with that game, but you would just sit there and play it.
No one knows what's going on with Minesweeper.
Yeah, no. But then there was Tetris.
Oh man,
and Tetris was the game too. Like trying to get high on Tetris, and then I actually before I had a computer. In college, I had this like word processing unit, and they had Tetris on it.
Oh my god!
And so I played a lot of Tetris, and not necessarily do my homework. And then, but then the computer became more prevalent, and then people would play games on their computer. And then there's even this personal data. It was basically. It was like a device that you had that was kind of like your calendar and all that. It's like it made it like a smartphone before smartphones had screens.
Yeah.
And they play this bubble game. So stuff like that. Game like kind of like
weird little games.
Yeah, like that. Like even what people today play on their phones. So,
yeah.
but we're talking. But I like the idea of talking about video games. And people can argue against me. People can say, well, those are video games too. But I really like the console games. The games like. And then we got the Wii, and then the Wii was really cool.
Yeah, the Wii was. It was. Wow, when was that released? It was like.
I don't know.
2010.
No, it was before then because you were 2008 maybe. No, you weren't there. You were. It was after that. It was like. It was released maybe around 2010, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, you were still this little kid with it, but.
Yeah, man. I think the Wii was my first actual console that we ever owned, right? Yeah.
That's
awesome.
But it was really cool to play that. And then, of course, we're ending up with the Switch. And if you're asking me what I played now, before, everything went on lockdown with COVID and everything like that.
Yeah.
When everything did and everything was shut down, I got really into Breath of the Wild. Man.
Oh man, that's a beautiful game.
Oh, I tell you what. And as an old Zelda fan, I never and I didn't play like the Game Boy. I never had a Game Boy. I never got into I went to from The Legend of Zelda, Link's Adventure, and then played none of the Link games up to then.
Oh my god.
And then Breath of the Wild comes along.
That must have been like
Holy crap.
like a wave of shock. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Like, yeah, it was like, whoa, this is an amazing game. And so I pretty much threw 4 months of my life into that game.
4 months.
I don't know. It was a lot.
Wow.
It was a lot. And then, but you know, that was a really great escape. You know, it was an amazing game. The only thing I hate about that game is the rain.
Ugh. See, the games that I've played mainly, like, the rain is always like, oh, a calming, soothing weather thing. But apparently with Breath of the Wild, you can't, like, climb or something. And then, like...
Yeah, and then it's just awful. Then add the lightning in there, the Hyrule lightning or whatever it's called.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, forget that stuff. So, but, you know, and so that's kind of where I come down to, like, that's brief summary of video games, I guess. You know, and so to kind of let you know where I'm coming from. So, speaking of the Switch, let's switch to you, Emmy.
Oh my God,
Find out what you think of video games and what your experience with video games has been.
That was so corny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dad jokes abound here. Watch out, dad jokes.
Great. Well, I guess we should start off from, like, where I started with video games. Of course, I grew up with the Wii. That was my first ever. Like, I played, like, my cousin had a Game Boy that I played on. Like, at that point, it was old, but I still loved it. And there's, of course, like, weird little games on, like, old flip phones.
Yeah.
Like, some of your old flip phones I would play games on. One of my favorite games that I love to play with my sister or my cousins was Super Mario Galaxy. Oh
yeah.
man. I was always, like, too scared to play as, like, the main, like, as Mario or, like, being player 1. So I was always player 2, collecting all those little star bits.
Yeah.
Like, helping every once in a while. And right now, coming up on the 18th, I'm pretty sure, there's the release of Mario 3D Superstars, where, like, it's Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
Which... Oh my god, having that ability to play on the Switch is going to be awesome if I can get it.
And I'm wondering, like, how are they going to play it? Because a lot of the Galaxy relied on, like, the Wii, like controls.
The motion control?
So.
Yeah, because that was big.
Happens, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely, and see, and I know that fear because, like, when I went to Breath of the Wild, like, I was afraid to play because, like, the newer games were just
crazy controls.
I was more with stationary, you know, I wasn't this whole moving around and all that, but I got used to it now.
Another Wii game was Just Dance. They had all the best songs. My taste in music was not only developed by, like, what you played for me when I was a baby, but Just Dance. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Somehow my sister always won. I would be dancing my hardest. I would be grooving. I would be moving. But I would still, I would never win. There was probably, like, once. I'd be all active. There's, like, an exercise. Like, it was a workout for me. And then my sister could be sitting on the couch waving the Wii remote around.
Yeah, I think she, like, knew how to cheat somehow or something. I don't know.
She hasn't told me. Up to this day, she has not told me how she won. Moving on to this kind of, I don't know if a lot of people know about it. This Disney Princess game.
Yeah. So we like drug out the Wii last weekend and we started playing it.
Gosh, you basically, like, set up your own princess character and then you go to these other worlds of princesses with, like, Ariel and Snow White, and you have to like save them from these goblin critter things.
What they call corrupt butterflies.
Corrupt butterflies. Yep. Well, one thing that we just kind of found out now was that there are these, like, secret codes with it where you can, like, unlock a certain kind of dress or, like, unlock some wand.
Yeah.
Well, I really liked Ariel because I really like just water. I used to be really scared of the water, but now it's, like, one of my favorite things, like the ocean and swimming.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite Disney princess?
Oh, you're gonna throw that at me?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that at you.
Is this a gotcha moment? Is this gotcha journalism here? No, no. I mean, what? I guess I like the Snow White one.
The Snow White.
Because what was crazy is that this game, like, you have to understand, it's not like really intense at all. You know, it's very guided and all that. But there's that
the
one
controls.
Yeah, but there's that one moment where you're trying to finally, like, the last step in Snow White, and you got all nervous, and then there's these brush people that show up and take away the color, and I don't know. It was kind of cool.
The creature corrupt butterfly things come at you, and it's terrifying.
So I would say that's what it is.
Yeah. Another thing would have to be like computer games, because even though like our family computer was old at the time, it's ancient now. I would say it's pretty old.
It wasn't that old, but yeah,
it can barely run. I'm surprised it's alive today. But we had like this Dora game where it's like a disc that you just put in, and then it was for kids. So like you just go around solving puzzles, helping Dora collect all these gems or something. And I played that with my sister. I tried playing it when I refound the disc like a while ago, and dang, I could not figure it out. I don't know if it was like I haven't seen an episode of Dora since I was like 5, but like, God, it was confusing.
Maybe it's because you didn't have me there to guide you.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I didn't just have someone hovering over my shoulder.
Well, shoot, you girls made me play that game with you. So.
Yeah. So another like computer game would have to be with like the Barbie like swipe designer game.
Yep.
Basically, you would put like this. You'd plug in this like card reader into the computer, and then you'd have like a whole catalog of cards. You just swipe them. They're kind of like Uno cards, like they were thin.
Those plastic Uno cards. Yeah.
You'd like swipe it, and then it would like put it onto the screen on like, so you could dress up Barbie and make a whole fashion show and design how the stage looked and how like everything else with it looked. It was the best thing. Moving on to other computer games. Of course, there's like Pop Tropica and Webkins.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Oh, man, I still have some of my Webkin stuffed animals.
Yep, the best game was Smoothie Moves. So.
Smoothie Moves from Webkins. Oh, my God. Pop Tropica has changed now, sadly. Like, they removed a bunch of islands, I think. Like, last time I checked, they didn't have a lot of the islands that I grew up with. Anyways.
That's interesting.
Now to talk about the video games that I play, like, now.
Yeah, so, like, what are you playing now? Because I know that you have a Switch, but...
Oh, well, I'm playing Animal Crossing basically every day. Last time I checked, I had, like, over 325 hours logged into it.
Gosh.
And I'm not even done.
Too much screen time.
Oh, my God. Well, I feel like I still have a lot to develop with it. Next up is like Stardew Valley.
Oh, yeah.
I play that mainly on the computer. I have a co-op with one of my friends where it's just a simple farming game. I love it. There's combat, like that's kind of optional, I guess, but I love it.
I like Stardew Valley. Yeah, that's one game I could say that I can get into.
Yeah. I stream Stardew Valley on Twitch. I don't stream much right now because of school, but I absolutely love playing Stardew Valley. Next up is Minecraft. It started off with Minecraft Lite, because Minecraft at the time, you had to pay for it, and it was expensive, and it was just on, the family iPad. It was crazy. And I played it back when there was, towers, or, the coolest thing was to have a house made out of just diamonds, which looked horrible. Oh my God.
But do you remember then you get the one towers that you can make because you get the obsidian to block the core that it would blow
nether
up.
Reactor cores. Yes. That was before the nether portal, and it was only on the mobile version of it.
Yeah, the one you put on the iPad or something.
Yeah. I remember just one memory that I have very clear in my head is I spent weeks building this tower made out of just spruce logs or something. It was hideous. It was an apartment building or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was horrible. But one day I went to go play on it, and I found out that my sister deleted it. I will never forget that my sister deleted my favorite Minecraft world. I was heartbroken. I'm pretty sure I cried a little. Like, did I get? I got mad at her.
You did get mad, and you cried a little, and yes, and
yes.
there was tears over Minecraft. Believe it or not. So.
Another game I've cried over is Papers, Please.
That is like, that's like a crazy game, man. I watch you play it.
Yeah. I also stream Papers, Please on Twitch. I haven't finished it. I always get close to finishing it, and then whoops, I mess something up, and then I get thrown into jail. It sucks. But it's a fun game. I highly recommend it. It wasn't too expensive on Steam.
No, it's a cool game. You know, it's just a game you play.
Just, oh my god. But basically, like, these games helped me bond with my family. Like, I played video games with you. I played video games with my sister. I played them with my cousins. I would do Just Dance with my mom. Like,
yep, and that's the way. Like, you know, and then you can be like with Minecraft and stuff like that. You know, being creative with it, and you know, like, it's still just a way to kind of bring people together. I think. Yeah. And it's fun. You know, like, even though I'm way older than you, we're still able to bond over these games. You know, like, we had fun playing that Crazy Princess game.
Oh my god, that game. Oh my god.
And the way the graphics are, the fish.
It's so weird. Well, they definitely have helped me express my creativity, and Animal Crossing has helped me out a lot with, like, kind of planning out my days and stuff, and just calming me down when I'm very stressed. It really helps with my anxiety, honestly, along with Stardew Valley.
Well, and it gives you that a little bit of escape, especially now, especially with the pandemic going on. It really gave us that escape.
Yeah,
and it was totally worth it. I'm glad that we got the Switch before everything fell apart.
Yeah. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Don't you think so?
Yep.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Snack Time. Today we talked about
video games. And so, well, thank you, and
we'll snack with you later. See you next episode.